Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Before I start anything, just have a look around this room. I'm standing in front of the future district director, the program quality director, the upcoming area director. I mean, come on, how often do you get to witness this much leadership packed in a single room without anyone asking for a status report? Honestly, this moment right here, I have dreamed this for years. Not like a dramatic movie climax with a background music, but like me standing in front of a mirror, pretending to accept a Toastmaster Oscar, while my friend in my other room questioning about my sanity interview. Today, as we all know, we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of this club. Everyone know me as a passionate Toastmaster, but do you know how it all began? Let me take you back to the year 2019 when one of my close friends from South India kept on pressurizing me, asking like, Jeevan, check out this thing called Toastmaster. And I asked him, bro, I don't even toast a bread without burning it. Why should I master it? So I refused. COVID began, life moved on. I started my job as a software engineer and become a responsible adult. That's what at least I told my parents. When I joined my first company, I heard this familiar term called Toastmaster. So I started realizing, okay, this will be my fate, or Toastmaster is secretly stalking me. So I asked my VP, which was one of my close friends, I asked them, like, can I join this club? So they said, definitely. Probably thinking another poor soul entering into the rabbit hole. But I joined that club as a single member, then became the club VP membership, VP education, president, then became the club mentor. During all these times, I started realizing that I wasn't climbing the ladder, I was building the whole staircase. Suddenly, people started asking me, Jeevan, why Toastmasters? That doesn't give you any salary, no bonus, only claps. Yes, exactly. Where else do you get an opportunity to talk about your worst failures of your life? I made that club distinguished, and made that club into Hall of Fame, which is one of the highest incentive of District 121. As you all know, in 2023, I took my biggest leap of my life. I left my country, my parents, and my mother's biryani. Emotional damage. And what was the first action when I came here to UK? Opening a bank account? No. Buying groceries? No. I texted Surbiton speakers in the Facebook group asking for a speech slot for the upcoming meeting. Yeah, I might be the only person who prioritized icebreaker speech slot over his national instrument. I joined Surbiton speakers the very next week I have landed. And in true Jeevan style, I asked for a committee role because I saw few vacancies over here. And they were like, you just got out of the plane. But I took the Sergeant at Arms role. That role helped me to connect with people, especially I learned about the club, the leaders, and the culture. But life was not all about those applause and table topping. I was doing a full-time master's, managing a tight budget, and paying my bills. And I was working 20 hours a week in McDonald's. Thursdays were so wild. I still remember the days. I come from a McDonald's shift at 6 p.m. smelling like nuggets and pickles. I would run back to my home, throw off that greasy uniform, and turn into a distinguished Toastmaster in 7 minutes, which is also a record time for changing the dress while microwaving the Maggie. Everyone saw me dressing sharp at meetings, but none of you knew that an hour earlier, I was mopping the floor while wrapping the McFlurry orders. And right after that meeting, I come to my home. While everyone's sleeping at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I kept on applying tons of jobs. Toastmaster agenda in one screen, CV in other screen, cover letters in the background. Crazy enough, maybe. Worth it, definitely. Because each and every meeting gave me something. Hope, confidence, and the biggest feeling that I was building something bigger than myself. It was on Jan 2024. I got an amazing opportunity to talk with Jeevan ma'am, who was the immediate past district director at that time. And I nervously asked her, ma'am, I know I am new here, but is there anything that I can do if I could take up a leadership role? Without waiting a second, she immediately put me into a Google Meet and asked me three most important questions. Why leadership? What are you hoping to gain? And what's your story? The very next day, I found myself copied into a mail with Dan, who was the district director during that time. And Dan, at the end of the conversation, told me one thing. Jeevan, what about becoming the area director of Area D53? Without any hesitation, I said yes. And at the end of the conversation, she told me one more thing. Jeevan, this is going to not give you any credits because you are taking this role on the half of the midway. I told, no problem, Dan. I smiled and said, I'm not here for the credits. I'm here for the connections, networking, and the impact. Now imagine that kid, that young boy who had been in UK for just 2 or 3 months, who doesn't know most of the postcodes, who doesn't know how to operate this Oyster card, suddenly running out of clubs in London like a Jesse James one with a banner roll stand. During that year, as you all know, I moved to Norwich for my first job. It was during that time, Raphael texted me and asked, Andrew texted me last year and asked me for Jeevan, would you like to take another leadership role in the committee for subaltern speakers? I told him, yes, VP Education. And there was a big pause. And he asked me, Jeevan, you are in the part of job hunting dissertation. Since VP is the big role, will you be able to handle it? And I told him, yes, I'm going to make it up. But probably in my head, I was thinking, mate, I have ran from a McDonald's night shift, changed out of a ketchup-scented uniform, and changed in the university toilet, and walked into Surbiton speakers like a corporate keynote speaker. If I can handle those struggles, I can handle these few pathways. When I moved to Norwich for my first job, I had a conversation with Raphael, and Raphael told me, Jeevan, would you need a replacement for VP? I told him, no. If I have started as it, and I'm going to end this. Because for me, commitment is not about comfort, it's about the character. This year, we brought Surbiton speakers back to top, 10 DCP points by making the club president distinguished. Last year, this club finished at 5 DCP points, and that fired me up. 10 DCP points in the 10th anniversary. You see the pattern. Last month, District 91 published one of my articles in the official website. And you know one thing, it is that same kid, that young kid who had been doubted by people, saying, what this young kid gonna do under pressure? Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, if I could leave a message with you, this is it. Life gonna throw you all the challenges out there, but you have to keep showing up. Even when you're tired, even when you're lost. Toastmasters gave me a platform, but more than that, it gave me a family, a belief system, and a purpose. And thank you, Surbiton speakers, for welcoming this young stranger and making him a man who is standing in front of you today. With proud, I'm signing off as the Vice President of Education of Surbiton speakers, not as a committee member, but as a person whose life is truly shaped by this club. If I can handle fries in one hand, timer card in the other, so can you. Back to Toastmaster very
I should tell you, there's no evaluators, by